Alex Barth from 98.5thesportshub.com. When Mike Vrabel says that Will Campbell has a lot of versatility in his game, what do you think he's referring to?
So I think he's referring to his ability to block in space, to play one-on-one in the box, all that. I know you're probably thinking tackle guard. I just think if they really saw him as a guard, they would have tried him at guard. He's the only starting offensive lineman that hasn't moved. Hasn't moved to the second unit, hasn't moved positions. He's been the left tackle. So even if Vrabel's talking about his versatility, it's not something they're testing yet or don't seem close to.
Why not?
Why haven't they?
Right.
Because left tackle is a premium position. They drafted him to play a premium position. It's been up and down, but there's been nothing that's been major alarm bells where you'd think 3 weeks in he'd have to move. It's in their best interest that he work out at left tackle, so they're going to give him an opportunity to get better and work out at left tackle. I think that guard, that ability's there. I don't think it's something they would want to jump to quickly. I think if they believe he can be a starting caliber left tackle, that's a valuable position in this league. There are not 32 people in the NFL capable of playing left tackle at a starting caliber level. If you found a guy you think can do it, you're going to exhaust every avenue to make sure he is that guy before you move him.
Okay, so some of these rough practices aren't alarm bells to you. When he loses to a practice squad defensive lineman like Truman Jones, that's not alarm bell to you?
I mean, it's one play. It's not like it's happening regularly. I actually thought he was better today in the 11-on-11s. It's really that traditional drop back passing blocking, because he's been good as a run blocker. He's been good on the play action stuff. It's just being able to get into that pass set and go. And the Truman Jones rep was probably his worst one of camp, but it hasn't been a regular occurrence. The other time he lost like that was against Keon White. So Keon White, not a practice squad player, good player. So if that was happening every day, 2-3 times a day, that would be more of a red flag to me than it happening once in 10 days.
Alex, can I ask you a me question as it pertains to Campbell? Because every time I watch the video of him, feels like he gets pushed around a little bit. Is he strong enough?
I think so. I know what you're talking about. He does get pushed around initially. I think that's more technique than strength, where you see the strength, and this is what he did a better job of today. I talked about this last time I was on with you guys. Every lineman's going to get beat now and then. What the good ones do is when they get beat, they mitigate it, or they get back control and they win, and that's where the strength comes in. He had one against Keon White today in 11s where Keon White did get into him initially, and he just kind of sank his weight back and dropped his anchor and made White go through him, and he held up there long enough for Drake May to get the ball out. So I think it's more about the quickness, getting to that win quickly. The strength shows up, though, when he has to come back and win a rep.
Well, sticking with the line, what's up with Morgan Moses? Why can't he stay in a practice?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm, at this point, more concerned about right tackle than left tackle, because he's been in and out. This is a guy that's 34, has been durable for the most part in his career, but he has started missing games the last few years. So the fact that, at the beginning of camp, maintenance stays okay. They're kind of getting into the heart of this thing now, and you're going to do some more install type stuff and getting ready for the first preseason game. You want to start building some chemistry. You'd like to see him out there a little bit more. And again, he's still in and out of the lineup, and they don't really have a backup. They flipped their backup tackles today, which tells me they still aren't really sure who's going to play where if they lose Campbell or Moses, or for whatever reason those guys can't go. So I would say I'm more concerned about that than I am about Campbell at this point.
I think, well, I don't know. I think it's possible on Campbell that you guys down there aren't just following your eyes. You're doing the thing of, well, how you started off. They drafted him to play left tackle. He was drafted number 4 for a reason. They believe in him. It's a premium position, and that's what we're doing.
Well, meaning, that's what I think they're doing.
Right, but that's not based on anything that you're seeing. What you're seeing is a kid that might not be ready. And you're ignoring that for the storyline of it, which is he was drafted there for a reason. It's a huge need. It's a hugely valuable position. This is what they plan to do, so they're doing it. But he doesn't look the part. Well, okay, never mind about that. He was drafted to play left tackle. That's a hugely important position. That's what I feel is kind of happening down there. But we'll see. We'll see. Alex, how does the offense look overall?
Today was not a great day for them. It was mostly focused on red zone work. That's the thing. I thought Campbell's had his ups and downs. The bigger picture today was the offense as a whole struggled, especially in the red zone, to move the ball. The line as a whole, there were some collapsing pockets. May had 1-2 sprays. early on. They ended up with a touchdown late because Kayshon Boutte made an unbelievable catch. I think so many people got caught up in that catch that, that's what stopped it being an 0 for day for the offense in the red zone. It felt like they had momentum early, but the more they've gotten into real situations, right? Not just running individual plays, but okay, we're counting down in distance. We're in the red zone, so the yard line matters more. They had a running clock for some of practice today. I think they started, first and goal with like 36 seconds left or something like that. And this started Friday night. They did some of this Friday night as well in the in-stadium. As they've added those layers, the offense has started to struggle a bit more, and specifically those late-game situations. Well, this is where they really struggled at times last year, and Drake May really struggled. Like, they would have opportunities, and they would just get away from them at the last minute. So that's been a concern to me, that as the situations get heightened, we haven't seen the offense continue to build from where they started camp.
Okay, and from your vantage point, how much of a problem or how much of a part of the problem is Drake May?
I mean, he's the quarterback. He's definitely a part of it. I think he's doing a better job of navigating the pocket, but when he navigates the pocket and resets, like, the accuracy still has to be there. And it's tying that whole thing together. I think his accuracy has been better throwing from the pocket in this camp, but when he kind of moves around, being able to reset and get those throws off. But also, there were some of the plays today where just nobody was open. Like, I'm not really sure. He was trying to force the ball in the tight windows at times, and that came with mixed results. But the wide receivers were probably as much of a part of it today specifically.
Okay, and just to reiterate this,
Yeah,
nobody was open without Gonzalez and Carlton Davis on the field.
Yeah, DJ James had 2 or 3 pass breakups. He's been playing in place of those guys.
Can you tie Friday night and today together? Is there any commonality?
Yeah, well, I mean, like I just said, they're continuing to heighten the situations. It's, okay, we're keeping track of the score. We're keeping track of the down and distance. We're keeping track of the time. And the performance isn't what it was last week. So, and that, is that what you mean essentially by tying it together?
Did you see the same problems Friday night that you saw today? And if you could boil it down to one thing, protection, guys not getting open, inaccuracy from the quarterback. If you could, give me the blame pie, what's the biggest problem?
I would say the biggest problem, it would be close between the protection and just maybe the quarterback and the receivers not quite being on the same page. There are a couple drops Friday night that derailed them as well. Didn't see that as much today. Today I thought it was more the protection.
They didn't do enough on the line.
Absolutely did not do enough on the line.
Is it fair to say, Alex, that the more real it gets situationally, the suckier they look?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that basically sums up what I said, yeah.
Wow, all right. Now we're talking.
What's the good news?
That was a straight answer. God bless you.
What's the good news, Barthy?
The front seven looks awesome. The front seven looks great. They didn't have Caleb Chase on out there today, who's been their best pass rusher in camp. He got banged up in that Friday practice. But even without him, Christian Barmore looks good. Keon White is fitting into this defense exactly the way a lot of people thought he would. He's just pinning his ears back and going. Robert Spillane looks like he's going to be a big factor for them, covering a ton of ground. Look, the defense isn't going to hit its ceiling without Christian Gonzalez and Carlton Davis as well. Like, that's obvious. But I do feel a lot better about the front seven than I did last year.
Okay, how about the defensive coordinator? Didn't we have an unfortunate, didn't he?
Yeah, he went down.
Did he go down again today, Terrell Williams?
Yeah, so he went down. According to the team, it was dehydration. It wasn't related to what he missed within the spring. It was a precautionary thing that he left practice.
Okay. Well, again, Terrell Williams, so we don't know exactly what it was in the offseason, right?
No, it's just some medical something.
And then did he collapse today?
I don't know. So I didn't see it. He was on the ground. I don't know if he collapsed or he was like not feeling well and sat down. He was on the ground at one point. They brought a stretcher out, but he walked off.
Okay. Hopefully he's okay. It's scary.
Yeah. I mean, if it's just dehydration, like, it sounds like it wasn't anything major, obviously, but still, especially with his history, you're going to have a little more concern for the situation.
Okay. Where's Vrabel on all this? I know he's been working or been adjacent mostly to the offense over the defense in these practices. When the offense is struggling, where is he during those plays? Where is he during those times? Do you see him getting into the coaching there? Is he just sort of observing still at this point?
I don't think he's getting into the coaching. He's definitely more observing. He'll go up after reps like Bill used to and maybe like grab a player and show him something real quick. I haven't seen him too much going after the coaching. There was one today where they were in one of those red zone periods. It was a 3rd or 4th down, and they're at the line, and there was a check made, and he called timeout. and he huddled the whole offense up. And I don't know if he didn't like the check itself or he just didn't like the alignment or whatever. That was the big thing I noticed today was that, he called the timeout during this 11-on-11 red zone period because of something he saw.
Okay. What are you expecting this week versus the Commanders in these joint practices?
So I wish I could say like the Commanders had this linchpin pass rusher that we could watch up against Will Campbell. But, they have Von Miller, who obviously was that guy. Who knows where he's at this point in his career. They have Dietrich Wise, who we're familiar with, who does have very long arms. So that'll be an interesting test for Campbell. So I'm looking forward to that. And then this is more up your alley, the whole lingering story of like, is Terry McLaurin going to be here? Adam Peters and Elliot Wolf maybe being in the same room talking, like that whole thing. I've been fascinated by the McLaurin thing because we get these wide receiver contract disputes. We get 2 or 3 of these a year at this point. But this one is, it feels like a no-brainer. When you have Jaden Daniels with this level of development, what he did last year, when you look at what the rest of their wide receiver room is, their wide receiver 2 or 3 without McLaurin is KJ Osborne. They have very little leverage outside of the fact that McLaurin's 30, and they still can't get a deal done when it's in the best interest of their young quarterback. They're coming here to a team that could really use a guy like Terry McLaurin and has been aggressive. They haven't gotten the guy, but they've been active in this wide receiver market the last couple of years. X's and O's we're not going to see much, but I just find the timing of it and that they're going to be in the same place. I just think that's fascinating.
That's the same KJ Osborne that was here, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah,
That is
good
the
luck
same.
with him.
He was the 2 or 3 here last year, and now without McLaurin, that's what he'll be in Washington.
And Deebo Samuel looks like he's a moose. His ass is the size of a Cadillac.
Yeah, he's out of shape. Did you see the NFL Network interview he did where they accidentally said he has a jammed finger or something, and that was supposed to be a secret?
Yeah.
So, it's their wide receiver group, not great.
Okay, Barthy, thanks so much for taking the time. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah,
Okay,
Alex.
we'll come back and get some reaction. Anyone starting to get concerned out there? 617-779-0985. Why are you smirking?
Yeah, you guys are making it up. Everything's fine.
I'm just relaying what's being reported.
Yeah, I know what you're doing.
I guess I'm going one step further to say, well, what if? What's next? As opposed to, well, it's early, it doesn't count. I don't know. If the good stuff counts, doesn't it? Shouldn't it? If Drake May was lighting the world on fire, if Will Campbell came out there and was destroying people, would fans have the right to get excited about
Oh,
it?
Sure, of course,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
He's the new Orlando Pace.
But not the other thing.
No. In fact, they don't need tackles. They're going to go with 4 guards.